So for this first section of the lab, this is going to be demonstrating the code that was provided to us through Canvas. I have that code downloaded and set into its own file here as we were taught. I had made a copy of the code of the project file from last week technically. Renamed it to chapter 2, downloaded the file there and have it open here. This is the file, so I'm going to compile it. 0 error, 0 warnings. This file itself, I didn't have to make any adjustments to actually get it to work for me, and that is described out in my lab report. One thing I do know that it was very important for us in this lab was to understand basically what was going on. Essentially, we were making our GPIOs by clearing the PCRs and setting them, which we learned in class, and then making them inputs and outputs by either clearing the PDDR or setting them. In this case, since we have a switch that's grounded, this code is dealing with enabling pull-up resistors. But the basic that we learned in class was accessing the PDDR and either setting or clearing them so that they can be made inputs or outputs. And this code, which is going to the PCR, which is for each pin, so port B, PCR of that pin, and clearing it and then setting it so that that one set through the mux knows that it needs to become a GPIO. We use these names just for simplicity's sake in case they're changed. We have them defined here by pin number, and then it points to which port it is at the beginning of each code. So port E, the PCR for that pin for that port. This code just basically works by setting the inputs of the switch, outputs to the LEDs. It detects whether the switch has been activated and which position it's in. It feeds that to switch code, which then goes into control RGB LEDs. Control RGB LEDs is going to look for which switch is on and then turn that light on. So since that compiled, I'm going to go to debugger. I am going to run, and I am running. So this is my board. So the switches we're using are up, left, and right. I apologize, there's construction going on up somehow. So up is red, left is blue, right is green. So that is that function, that program working for the first part of this lab.